Yo guys, what is up? Today this is 150 sub special. What if Deku was ermac? Basically ermac. It was in the Mortal Kombat tournament. As basically how this is gonna work. Izuku was born to Hisashi Midoriya and his mother Inko, like regularly. But in this one, I'm gonna say that Inko told Hisashi that the child wasn't his. But Hisashi didn't care. And he's like, I'm still gonna be in his life no matter what. I may have not, he may not be my biological son, but I'm still gonna care for him like a son. As Inko is just happy that at least Izuku will have a father figure in his life. When Izuku was 4, he's like, they go to the quirk doctor as they say, your son has a very, very powerful quirk. As they're like, what is this quirk? As they're like, the doctor says, it seems like soul manipulation, kind of. What do you mean? His body is made up of thousands, probably millions of souls, and he can manipulate those souls to do telekinetic abilities. Eventually, he could even rip out people's organs from the inside of them. As they're just shocked. As they're like, is there anything else he can do with his abilities or with his powers? It's like, yes, he can manipulate the soul energy of others. Basically, basically, he says that he can manipulate the soul energy of others. And it can make a multitude of different things. If he has enough soul energy, he could create something called a soul NATO. As they're like, what's a soul NATO? Is a soul is what it sounds like what it basically is. A tornado of souls. And they're like, they're just surprised on how strong Izuku's quirk is, and yet how deadly it can be. As Dr. Dunn tells Izuku, and he's like, so I can become a hero with my quirk? He's like, yes, as long as you still want to go down the path of being a hero, you can become a hero with your power. It's very powerful too. As he explains everything that he said to Inko and Hisashi, but he took out the killing parts and stuff like that. And he told him that his body is made like of a lot of souls. As after that, they go ahead and go and leave with Izuku. As the next day at school, Izuku tells Katsuki, as he's like, whoa, that's cool. That's cool, Izuku. He's like, yeah. No, actually, I'm gonna say that the doctor told Izuku about what he can do, and he told Katsuki, but Katsuki was also shocked, just like how Izuku was. He's like, you could do that? All that? He's like, yeah, I'm honestly shocked too. As after that, he says, what do you want to do now? As they just become great friends over time. As eventually they go to as eventually they get taken one day. Some people break in as they kill Inko, but they but Hisashi manages to fend them off. And actually, Inko is put into a coma-like state instead of being killed. As after that they take Hisashi and Izuku take her to a hospital as he as they as the doctors come out and say that they're like, "We're sorry, sir. We have good news and bad news." It's like, what's the good news? And they're like, well, she's alive. And Izuku and Hisashi just sigh of relief, like, thank God that he's alive. But and you're like, the bad news? Like, unfortunately, she's in a coma for a very long time. And then during this time, Raiden sends we go to the sky temple. As Raiden senses an energy, as a man in a straw hat actually senses a power similar to Ermac's of Outworld. As he looks at his friend and brother, who's sitting right beside him, as he's like, Fujin, you sense that too? As he's like, yes, I do. As it's like, we must go investigate it. As they're like, okay. As they teleport away, as they teleport right to, as this actually takes, as it actually, they go over to Izuku, which takes them around 10 or so years. During this time, Izuku decided to take on martial arts classes. He took up stealth, jiu-jitsu, and ninja, and Shaolin fighting style. Basically, this fighting style of like Liu Kang and Kung Lao. As Izuku learned made a few new special abilities. He made fire called Soul Fire, which doesn't burn that much, but it mainly attacks a person's soul. And once Izuku retracts the fire off of him, he gets all the soul energy out of a person's soul. As he does that, as during this time, Raiden one day goes up to as the day of the entrance exam comes, as Izuku's main master says, Izuku Midoriya, we would like to honor you with the Dragon Medallion of the Shaolin. As on the day before, we skip back 10 months though, as Izuku and Katsuki are just walking and talking. They see a girl the girl in their class who had a breakdown. They seen the two girls that had a breakdown in their class actually. One of them had long blue. No, damn it. No, one of them actually had short silver hair, and the other one had a somewhat medium-sized hair. I'm pretty sure. Medium-sized dark green hair. As these are none other than Setsuna and Reiko Yanagi. If you're wondering, yes, these are the people I'm shipping Deku and Bakugo with. Deku gets Reiko, and Bakugo gets Setsuna. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, I'm doing the face reveal at the end of this. So yeah. So, thanks. I promise you guys, on my 100 sub special, and actually on my 50 sub special, that once we have 150, I'll do a face reveal. And I'm doing that after I do this. And so after that, they see the two girls in their class as they introduce themselves, as they cheer them up too. As they ask them what's wrong. as the Reiko said that her mother just recently passed away, and her you know, in a villain attack to actually protecting Reiko from an attack, no, from a villain attack, and she just can't deal with it, and she can't help but feel it's like her fault. And Setsuna says that her parents have been arguing a lot, and her dad abuses her. As she lifts up part of her uniform and shows quite a few scars, and on that too. And after that, they're they're like hey, it's okay. What school? As they ask, what school do you guys want to go to? As they're like UA. Well, as Izuku says, we believe that you can get into UA. Just don't give up, and you can get to the school of your dreams. Just like how we aren't giving up on becoming heroes. As they say, thank you. As Izuku gives, as Bakugo gives Setsuna his phone number, and as Izuku gives Reiko his phone number. And they're like, if you ever need someone to talk to, hit us up. And as Katsuki also says, yeah, Setsuna, as she's like, yes. Bakugo says, if you ever need a place to stay, let me know. As she blushes a little and she says, okay. As they leave, as they decide to take a shortcut since they were late. As after that, they're going to do they go down the regular path to Cannon. As Sludgebone attacks him, as before he can even get to jump on him, Izuku sensed him. As he grabs the sludge villain and lifts him up, as he's like, "What do you want?" As he's like, "Give me your body, kid." Like no, as he starts to crush the sludge villain. As the sludge villain starts to scream in pain, as he says, "What the hell are you?" And before he completely kills the sludge villain, he gives the infamous ermac catchphrase, "We are many, you are but one," as he crushes the sludge villain completely and throws it down to the ground and absorbs all his soul energy. As they do that, they start to leave, not until All Might appears. And he says, as he offers Izuku his quirk after he told him, and they both told him what their quirks are. As he's like, no thanks, I think Bakugo should get it. As he's like, you mean Izuku? This power can easily enhance yours. Or this you could easily become number one. As he's like, no Bakugo, my quirk's too dangerous. And if that quirk were to be given to me, my powers could easily kill anyone I use them on. And I don't want to risk that. But don't want to risk thousands of people's lives just because of an enhancement quirk. So you take it. It's right then and there. They two men appear. As one of them's like, as he sees Izuku, as Raiden says, "You young boy." As Izuku says, "Me?" He's like, "Yes." What is your name? As he says, Izuku Midoriya. like, well, easy Midoriya. You have a power similar to this old combatant I knew. She used to fight for a different realm. And during this time, All Might has already asked to become a teacher at UA. And then, while doing that, then at this, there you go. And oh, where am I at? Yes. This might be a shorter one since I can't exactly come up with anything. If you want to, this is gonna be more of like a Mortal Kombat What If too, like with more the Mortal Kombat series in it, as well as when he's like, "I'd like for you to meet someone." He's like, "Okay," and then he takes him into a place where he meets a man. Where he meets a man. Hang on, wait. Let me show you who he looks like. What he looks like. He sees this man right here, looking like this, and he's like, "Who are you?" As he says, "We are ermac." And he's like, "You're the legendary ermac of Outworld. One of the strongest combatants in the Mortal Kombat tournament. Power is so powerful, you could easily drain out someone's soul if you wanted to." As he's like, "Just like mine." Like, yes. You are my great grandson, Izuku Midoriya. As he's just shocked by this. As then he realizes that's why he always says, that's why he says, "We are many, you are but one." And because it's something of his bloodline. As after that, they go ahead and get ermac trained for a while. And then, during this time, Bakugo's been training it with One For All and All Might, and already has full counting and shoot style. And you can control up to, I'm gonna say 30%. Until one day, Raiden comes out to him and says, "Katsuki," as it says, "Young Bakugo." I was like, "Yes, I'd like for you to meet someone." He's like, "Okay." And then he teleports him to a place. Beautiful pink flower, pink cherry blossom trees. And then they see a place, a little dojo place, where then they walk in and see a man sitting there meditating. And then he said, as Raiden says, "Long time no see, Scorpion." Not Hanzo Sashi, or should I say, Scorpion. As he's like, "Lord Raiden, what brings you here?" I just said, "I'd like for you to train this young boy right here." As he's like, "You serious?" Yes. As he says, as he explains his quirk and stuff like that. And he explains about One For All too to him. As he's like, "You want me to train him you also want me to train him to help him improve his quirk and this One For All you talk about?" He's like, "Okay." As then, fast forward to Princess Time by the day of the entrance exam. They leave and they leave for the entrance exam with Izuku and Bakugo meet up with Reiko and Setsuna. As they all leave for the entrance exam. As Izuku gets an easy 100%. Bakugo in third. Reiko in fourth. And Setsuna in fifth. Because, Yajirosa got second. As then they go to the place where they explain the robots. And Izuku didn't really have a confrontation with Ida. As then they start to, as they go and start attacking the robot. Izuku just lifting up like half of them and just crushing them easily. As then, a little bit later, they go and attack Izuku as the 0 pointer comes out, and as Izuku sees again, Izuku sees Reiko about to get stomped, crushed by the robot, along with a brunette girl with pink rosy cheeks. As he quickly lifts up the robot, as he twisted around into his body's in a really messed up position. As he sticks his hand out, and then out the middle bursts out all the cybernetic parts of it. As he crushes it down into the circle, and then he throws it down to the ground. As then he just throws it back. As he says, "We are many. You are but none." We are many. You are but none. And then, anyways, this is gonna be it, guys. But real quick, okay, this is the video, you guys. Have a good day, and see ya. We are but many. You are but gone.